Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here and welcome back to another video about XRP. And today I think we have a pretty important subject because it is regarding insiders. Now, to draft you guys the story, about a week ago I was in Singapore enjoying life and I got in contact with a certain person. Now, this person told me they're very well connected into the Ripple realms, let's say, and in a non-financial advice type of manner told me it might be wise to buy XRP before Friday because Friday there would be a major event. And because I'm such a nice guy, I decided to also partially share that to my core audience and say, hey, a guy came up to me, said some announcement might drop on Friday. Think about it. I'm not your financial advisor. Don't take advice from me. I'm also not sure because, well, it's a YouTuber world and people are very often wrong in this sense. And because we know from BitBoy's past that whenever somebody says XRP insider, you take that with 70,000 grains. You take it with, some kilos of salt. And that's exactly what I did. I didn't actually buy, but the whole day here, I've been looking around, scrolling around, typing around. I'm a little typo machine right here to try and find out what type of news came out. And, well, you guys most likely saw it. I made a video earlier today. I am not sure why I'm twitching and wobbling around so much. I made a video earlier today. You can see me in the reflection right there. I'm a little, there we go. Talking about some advancements for the XRP ledger, which were good, certainly. But we have to note a couple of different things. The probability of a upgrade to the network, let's say, having an effect on the price is rather small. We've now seen it with Ethereum, we've seen it with Cardano, we've seen it with the XP Ledger, we've seen it with actually nearly any protocol. If there's some sort of hard fork happening, there's a chance the price will increase, but as a baseline, it really doesn't unless we're in a very bullish market. What we have also noticed from the past, though, is that one of the things that does get people hyped up, or let's just say differently, one of the things that does make the price increase, though, to some degree sometimes, is hype and expectation without knowing the full context, which comes back down to hype. Back in 2017, the XRP price literally went up like crazy because there was an expectation that XRP was going to be listed on Coinbase. And fun fact, I think XRP peaked January 4th or 5th. You know what happened January 5th? Coinbase tweeted out or wrote out, we're not really planning to list XRP. And that was it for the bull run for XRP, literally. Point being here, I think we have to grow up a little bit. If you guys could, go to the comment section of mine and type down below who was right with their insider claims. Who has been out there to say, hey, an insider told me that this was going to happen, and it actually did, for XRP/the XRP Ledger. There is so many expectations based upon thin air within the XRP community, and honestly, I don't really appreciate it anymore. If you're talking to me about, for example, Ripple winning the lawsuit, it's already been decided, we can joke about that, we can speculate about it, sure. But we can never say that it's already been decided because honestly, you and I don't know. And the same thing goes for XRP to 10,000 bucks or even 589, for example. Even though I like the theories, I like reading into them and I think they're funny. That's literally what I consider them to be, funny. There are a lot of people within the XRP community that are not here to really educate. They're not here to set realistic expectations for the people. They're either here to make jokes, which is fine. I like jokes, but jokes in a impractical manner. Can't really name one, but I'm thinking. But more importantly, there's people who spread things which are just blatantly untrue for some purpose that you can debate upon, right? Why exactly people are doing this? There's a multitude of reasons as to why somebody might want to do this. The reason people can do this is because of a couple of main reasons, and I'm just open and honest with you. I think a lot of people that buy XRP are not buying the main Bitcoin, but they're buying this smaller coin, lower price, higher in quantity, because they think it can rise up like crazy. So for monetary reasons, that's usually why I buy things, right? To make money on it. But basically because the price is still low and it didn't peak the last bull run, for example, there's a lot of potential. A lot of others are buying it though because of some authoritative figure. For example, I called this out before. And I'm gonna call it out again because, well, that's my truth. I don't know exactly what the guy's name is. I don't wanna look it up because I don't really care too much. I think Valil Capital, the guy, I think that was the guy who talked about the gold standard and XRP at 35,000 bucks or so. People place too much authority on a fund manager role or whatever he does, a management role, saying, oh, he does this, so he must know something. As you guys might know, I run my own VC. I go to all these little events here, and meet up with so many different VC guys, and you start to understand the game a little bit in the sense that, oh, you might have raised a lot of money, you might have a lot of money, doesn't mean you know what's gonna happen. Point being, people believe in it because they think, wow, if $35,000 per XP were to happen, I'd be so ridiculously rich. Not thinking really about all the intermediary parts. Is it impossible? No, surely not. Let's make one thing really, really clear. No price prediction ever out there is necessarily impossible. If somebody now comes up with a theory as to why XP could hit 50,000 bucks, it's not really bad because it could. It literally could. You cannot convince me that any price that you imagine right now is impossible. It's just very unlikely. And that's the thing. Even unlikely is hard to actually say out with a lot of confidence because, well, there's just so many different factors that make a move in this. Like, for example, do we agree upon the fact that the dollar will not be as strong at some point as it is right now and inflation will keep continuing on? If that's the case, then to some degree, the purchasing power will decrease over time. I think we can all agree on that. And at some point, a $100 bill will have the purchasing power of $1. So basically, at some point in the future, $100 as a bill will have the purchasing power of $1 right now. Meaning, for example, you'll be able to buy one pack of rice with $100. In the same sense that, let's say 60 years ago, you'd be able to buy some rice with a cent. So for that reason, I don't really blame people for having crazy expectations because in theory, it's possible. It's, however, and now I'm going to relate it back to the earliest thing. When people give you half information where it's based upon mystery, like for example, this 589, people don't fully understand how it got to 589. Whenever I read on Twitter, and that's why I ask it sometimes on Twitter too, people don't really know exactly where it came from. They don't know the validity or the explanation behind the number, why 589. They just heard somebody talk about it and they think, hey, that would be very cool for my portfolio. I think that's gonna happen, but based upon what? As I've been investing in XRP for a very long time, for a very, very long time as of this point, a lot of people have called me out for it, saying it's really dumb, I should sell it. The performance has not been great, yada, yada, yada. Oh, they're gonna lose the lawsuit, yada, yada, yada. And they base it upon some sort of concrete evidence in their opinion. Now, in my opinion, I can refute that with facts. Hey, the XRP ledger has done extremely well over the last 10 years. Hey, the lawsuit is actually really looking, how do you say it? Let's just say good for Ripple. And I can prove that with a lot of the most recent announcements. Things look really, really good for them. The ledger is developing like crazy. They're expanding like crazy. Ripple's getting a ton of partnerships in. I can justify as to why buying XRP for me is a very small choice. And honestly, I think that's the way investing should go. That you take responsibility, you look something up and you notice, hey, this sounds like a really good idea. And this example that I'm giving is specific for projects that are already established, you know? With newer projects, I look at a lot of different criteria. For example, we, as a fund, invest in a lot of new things. You try to always find the new unicorn. And you look for a lot of different things that are already established project like XRP, for example. But one thing I've noticed is if you trust people's words solely based upon hype and air, you'll get burned very ridiculously often. And with XRP as well, all I want for you guys is to forget this narrative of, okay, you know what? There's one guy who said there's an insider that might be, no, throw it out the window. If I do this in the future, guys, I apologize right now. Maybe hype will take over because I get so excited as well. And sometimes I'm an ignorant fool as well. I will be. For sure. I'll sometimes hype myself up as well. As long as you understand from your core values that if you're basing your investment decisions upon insiders and these explanations which you can't fully understand, it's not smart investing. It's trying something out. It's like a little coin flip. Most of the time it's wrong or based upon nothing, just a hype mechanism. And all I want is for the people in the XP community to be taken a lot more serious. There's too many jokesters around. And I love jokes. I'm talking about people who are hyping other people up that it is certainly going to go to $10,000 plus, or who are writing that no other crypto should be bought except for XRP and it deserves to have all the money in the world inside of it. You have this for other communities too. You know, I see it with my Luna videos, I've seen it with ADA. It's not only XRP, but XRP has it to a very, very far degree. I really, from the bottom of my heart, love a lot of the guys that are watching my videos every single day. As you guys might have seen from some of my streams, I had, one of the guys written down, for example, that watches my stream often. But I really sit down sometimes with one of the guys from my team and we just laugh at either some funny comments that you guys place or just at how committed people are to sometimes follow my channel, which is so, I can't even comprehend how cool I find that. It's hard for myself to put into words how much I appreciate you guys stopping by. And from that perspective, I just sometimes think, man, maybe I should be a little bit more open to certain degrees with how I think investing is in the best degree. And with XRP, again, bottom of my heart, I personally believe, based upon, let's just think about this, the XRP ledger's expansion, how they've done over the last couple of years, the partnerships that Ripple has signed for, let's just say ODL/RippleNet, but also the development of the XRP ledger, right? It's been doing extremely well. For that reason, I think the price will do good. Okay, we have that established. We can also then put in that, for example, announcements like today are pretty nice, where the decentralization is picking up the pace. So let's put that for prong number 1. 2 is the lawsuit. I personally think they're going to win That's another very important factor as to why I think buying it is a smart choice. Again, let's be rational, not based upon hype, based upon things we can kind of measure, not completely, but kind of. That's another bullish factor for the price. I think that is a multiplier, though, that helps to kind of even out the rest. So even if the other ones didn't really have such a good ROI potential, this one evens it all out. And then as a number three, wrong finger. I'd say that exchange for listings is another very big deal because right now for a lot of US people, it's actually still pretty hard to buy XRP because a lot of places blocked it. Another one to add to it though is, for example, the fact that XRP could become the first properly regulated crypto in the US and set the standard for crypto regulation. In every future crypto lawsuit, Ripple's lawsuit will have to be mentioned. And I think honestly that just having these reasons is really enough to justify a proper investment into XRP. I could go on about Flare and a couple of side pieces, but I don't think it's necessary. So what is my point here? Well, the point is, if I calculate all this up, what price do I get to in terms of XRP? Well, I can't really get to one. Just following, the past performance, stating that it went to about $3-4 based upon some Coinbase hype, which in hindsight, was pretty crazy. I think, well, if we got to that price with just hype, and now we have a lot of the utility and the loss and everything like that, well, because a lot of other coins went 3-4 times their all-time high, like for example Ethereum, between the 2017-18 bull run and this one, I think XRP could do similar numbers, which is why I came to my, let's say $12 price point, which I told you guys a ton of times about. So again, I can see a couple of different reasons as to why this crypto would pump or do exceedingly well. I visualize some sort of price that I think it could get to. This is all fine. But then if somebody comes up to me and says, nah, XRP is going to go to $10,000 because, gold standard. You don't even know, bro, but the digital reserve currency is going to be it. I like it, sure, entertain me. But that's not rational investing. That's wishful thinking. Can XRP become the world digital reserve currency, whatever the frick you want to name it? Sure, it could. When? Well, at some point, maybe let's say in 8 years or so. It could be. I don't think you have to think about all that stuff, though. Honestly, I think every single person watching this video is better off learning how to invest properly by rationalizing things. And how do you do that? Well, first of all, just keep watching my videos, No, but in all seriousness, go sit down for a little second. Think, okay, what are my main cryptos? If you're a guy that just buys, let's say $1 worth of every single crypto and doesn't think about it, this does not apply to you because, well, that's like coin flipping, I'm talking about rational investing for the longer term to actually make sizable gains. Sit down for a second and think, what parts are good about this? Maybe look it up on the internet. What part do I like about this? Does it have potential to disrupt a market? Is it a really good idea? Is there proper backend in the sense that they have proper, marketing to a certain degree? Because if they have no marketing at all, the technology can be amazing, but it won't do well, most of the time at least. And if you have that all placed in, I can't fathom that people get to these, let's call it price predictions of 1,000x, for example. You can't tell me with a straight face right here, with a good rationale, that a certain crypto is going to 1,000x for certain, unless you're talking about some strange meme coin that has some very good reason, again, in the sense that the founder has now been, I can't even think of something because it doesn't really happen too often. Very often that's based upon hype and based upon nothing, or it's just a, wishful thinking type of endeavor from multiple different people, or a pump and dump type of situation, or some crazy manipulation from a higher degree that you couldn't have really predicted. Doesn't mean that 100x's don't just happen overnight. Sometimes it does, really. But that's so hard to find, where it's hard to justify an investment for 100x. It's pretty hard, unless we're talking about new launches, then it's pretty simple. Point being, if you do what I just said, again, this is not financial advice, this is my personal, friendly thoughts that I'm sharing with you guys, I guess my viewers, my friends, my peoples, my buddies, my family a little bit, the love of my life. No, but in all seriousness, that I'm sharing with you. I think that way, any person investing in crypto right now can do exceedingly well over the next couple of years. And even if we're speculating now, XP world preserve, is it going to happen between now and 2 years, you think? If so, ignore what I just said. Because if that's your rationale, if that's what you think is going to happen, then that's a good reason. Honestly, I think that's a good reason. But just think thoroughly as to why you think a certain price prediction is possible. If you can't find a direct path there, doesn't mean it's impossible, but it's very unlikely. Maybe restructure to look for something that is more likely to happen. I build portfolios based upon the most rational path to victory or wealth. At a certain point, you're not thinking about how can I make some money. You're mostly thinking about how do I make sure that this money never goes down again. But to a certain degree, you want to make sure that it doesn't go down and goes up. That's not the situation for most people though. And a lot of people with a lot of money don't think about this on a daily basis anymore. That there's people with $7 in their name right now, maybe not even $7, that are trying to become extremely wealthy off of crypto. And those are most of the people that think, oh, I needed to go to 10,000 bucks or so. You don't. Really, regardless of how much money you have right now, you don't need a crypto that's gonna 1,000 or 10,000x. If you play your cards right, even if you're starting with $10 in crypto right now, you can become a millionaire in 3 years. I can guarantee, which I will not, but I could. Let me just actually make sure I don't say anything like that. But I could. Let's just say it like this. Okay, I should maybe not. It is very likely, all right, that out of the millions of people that watch my channel every single year, at least 1,000 people, let's say, out of the million people, are extremely broke, have $0 to their name. That is very likely assumption, right? That at least out of 1 million people that watch me in, let's say, a month, or 1 million views that we get, 1,000 people are broke, have $0 in crypto, they're watching because they want to get some inspiration. Then of those 1,000, I think at least 10 of those guys will become millionaires within 3 years, even if they have $0 to their name. Why do I think about it like that? Why do I think so? Well, look back. You know, for me, in crypto, it's been a long decade already. So I should say a short decade. So the story is a little bit different. But when I started this crypto channel to a certain degree, things really went quite quickly. You know, I was satisfied with little. But if you think about it, things really did go quite quickly within a couple of years. I always thought I was kind of late to crypto, but now it turns out, okay, I've been doing this YouTube channel crypto thing for 6 years. I was pretty early to crypto YouTube to a certain degree. But in theory, all you had to do was make videos at the right time and boom, you're a multimillionaire. But then again, people started last year and now they're multimillionaires. People with $100 million might have started last year with like a couple bucks to their name. It is based upon a couple of different things though. And I'm going on a tangent for too long. It's based mostly upon two things. The willingness to learn / your eagerness to, you know, discover new things and understand these things. A little bit has to do with just your ability to comprehend things, your analytical capabilities, I guess. And most of it comes from connections, I guess, because you need to know the right person to get you the right information. But let me just say it like this. You don't need 1,000x. Seriously, if XRP goes to $12, you could turn 10,000 bucks into $1 million like a snap. It's not even hard. But more importantly, you could turn $10 into 1,000. And once you have 1,000 bucks, that's where the ball can really start to get rolling. For example, we sometimes talk about those bonuses over on exchanges like Bybit. It doesn't really work if you only have $10 to your name, but I sometimes, for example, have sign-up bonuses where every single person who signs up goes through KYC and deposits at least $1, gets, for example, 10 or 20 bucks. We've had it on multiple different occasions in the past. And then I don't understand why not every person is signing up that is looking out to make a lot of money, right? And depositing $1, for example, to get this $10 bonus. Even though you might not be able to withdraw it, very often that's the case. You can use this $10 to potentially trade with. Now, it might not work. You might not know how to trade. There we go. There's a lack of knowledge then. I'm not saying like, oh, just quickly learn how to trade. It's so simple. I'm not saying that. But at that point, for example, it's a 50-50 chance, if you're long or short, let's say, to turn that $10, $20 into, let's say, 40. You have a 50-50 chance. Now, there's a 50% chance you will not win. Well, no loss. You know, you didn't really lose anything except for maybe the dollar you put in. But potentially you have 40 bucks to win. Potentially even more if you let the launch slip for longer. And now your bankroll is 50 bucks. You go to another exchange, and if you deposit $50, for example, you might get a $20 bonus to trade with. Now you can use that $20 bonus. Again, you have another 50-50. Let's say that works out again. You now have yourself, for example, 100 bucks. Because if you have only $100 and you're investing into XRP like on its own, for example, well, yeah, it might eventually become worth a ton, but I think then we're looking mostly for these shorter term opportunities that involve some sort of work on the side to make more money. Investing $100 into crypto is huge. I've actually helped so many different people start investing into crypto with only 100 bucks or 1,000 bucks or something of the sort, which in this big financial market is not really a lot of money. Theoretically speaking though, 10 bucks as well, it's all fine as long as you're then not thinking only about the money that you put in as an investment, but thinking about all the other ways you can utilize to make a little bit of side money. Let me tell you guys this. I'm gonna make an email right now, I think. Yeah, I'll do that. I'm gonna make an email right now, and I want you guys to send an email to it with a couple of details as to what you're good at. Because maybe, just maybe, I'm able to help some people out with a job. That might sound kind of strange. I don't want to actually be here hiring people. I'm more so thinking if you have something that you're really good at, that you can think of that you can provide for me, I might be able to help you out with that. I'm not saying that I'm looking for people for some specific jobs. No, if you think you have something that I need or that we can work out, reach out. Giving some people a chance right here. The best way to become extremely wealthy is literally by increasing your income at the start. Because with 10 bucks, it's going to be extremely difficult to get somewhere. So you need to find out ways to make that 10 bucks worth a lot more. One of those things is leverage trading, but it's extremely hard. One of the other things is literally increasing the most lacking factor, which is the income part. Some people have no time. I understand that. And for some people, this whole strategy will not work, which is why I said if we have 1 million people, out of that, 1,000 will be $0 in their name. Out of that, for example, 10 will become millionaires in a couple years, and the other 90%, for example, won't. It's just how it goes. But you can be that one that becomes a millionaire. I honestly believe it because, well, it happens so ridiculously often. I met 13-year-old crypto millionaires. What? And they made it within a couple years. I'm going to make a lot more videos, I think, talking about how I think people can become extremely wealthy, but also the other side, which is once you have a little bit more money, what then? How to make sure you never go broke again, and just a lot of different tips that I think I would have liked to see at some point. Because honestly, the world is so big, and I'm not sure why I'm going on such a tangent, such a rant. I think honestly it's just because I'm seeing so many comments of people saying, oh, was this your big announcement? Was this a big announcement? Where the big picture behind it was, well, there's something maybe happening. I'm telling you guys like, hey, take it with a kilogram or 5 of salt. These guys hype me up for it. I think, hey, I'm sharing it with you guys. But the chance of it happening was pretty small. I knew that. But many people, they hear this hype up and they go absolutely wild. Be careful with that. I'm not sure how I'm going to title this video yet. I'm not sure exactly if I even will upload this. Maybe you'll see this today. Maybe you'll never see this. Oh, we shall see.